And yeah, a couple of things. The other day we did I do not know what I do not know, and with that we got to rule of 4. Now the thing is, oh shit, sorry. Like, subscribe, share. Yeah, classic YouTube drill. Okay, rule of 4. Now, everybody always talks about triangulation, and a lot of things work in hierarchies. My personal opinion is that if you actually look at normal stuff, when people talk, we talk about socioeconomics, which is actually dropping the opposites between social and economics, which would be society and exchange. And with that, we talk about geopolitics. Now, triangulation has always kept us in this linear, random, separate competition, conflict, mental model. Whereas, imagine adding 4, then we suddenly get balance. Geopolitics. Geo is the physical environment. Politics is our policies. And then, so geopolitics, and perpendicular to that is socioeconomics, as per the diamond. So we're moving from a triangle, which gives you a point, 3 points, or give you a triangle. Triangulation gives you a point, whereas now we get strength, which is actually kind of funny because a carbon 4 is a diamond, and it's actually quite obvious when you actually see it. The other thing is, we're living in the global trends at the moment with the whole America's change. The US has set a new precedent with regard to auditing government and cutting the waste, the fraud, the abuse. And with that, so we get the ARC Forum that comes in and says, okay, why don't we go back to the original values, ethics, morals of Western civilization and revitalize and rebirth, return to who we are as a Western civilization. But then you've also got the Davos guys, and they're also picking a new direction. Now, I live in a country which is really funny because everybody's got this direction of a vision towards the future, whether it's the Americans or the ARC Forum or even Davos, of hang on, we've got to figure this out now with regard to migration, taxes, waste, abuse, bureaucracy, blah, blah, blah. But the South African government is running backwards and everybody's moving that way, and we've decided to hit a direct left turn into the opposite direction, 180 degrees, missioning for a socialistic government where there's land expropriation without compensation. AKA, the government can take your land and not compensate you. That's actually how the bill reads. Now, with that, South Africa's got a high crime rate, and we've got 31 years of absolutely nothing happening, resting on laurels, resting on the infrastructure built by 33 years of not a good government. The national government, or the apartheid government, had flaws in their ideology, but on the other hand, they did develop a serious empowerment of infrastructure, skills development, career pathing, long-term goals. Before that came was colonization, and okay, but we can always go back, and we've got to take the strengths from those civilizations, and we can actually have kept that going. But in 31 years, instead of making decisions of progress, aka 1995, the year after the election, we should have said everybody gets basic numeracy, literacy, reading, writing, and arithmetic, the 3 R's. Big joke. And then we educate people. These are the career choices, and we jack this triangle to a square, to a diamond. Look at the middle class, look at the tax base. Now, a lot of people don't realize that in South Africa, we had these different levels of education, but we have to benchmark, or at least the first job was to benchmark the standard and then raise it and show people, hey, you can be a boilermaker, you can be an electrician, you can be a plumber, you can be a builder, you can be But instead, now we're sitting 31 years down the line, our skills-based is retired, our previous skills-based is retired, and they can actually come in as consultants, still educators, to train, to teach, to empower. Because guess what? It's not about your religion. I will say this 1,000 times. Your religion, your skin color, your sexual orientation. To build state is skill, knowledge, comprehension, application of skills, and then experience. And that's where the diamond comes in again. And so we have a choice every day. We can either, pause. My recommendation for South Africa is, why don't we just go perpendicular to the West's revitalization, because we're not West, and we hit a perpendicular to Davos, which is also, and it's perpendicular. Let's just change the way we think, because if we maintain our current thinking, and this has always been an undercurrent with how I think, is that if we maintain our thinking, all we do is change terminology. If our thinking stays triangular, linear, random, separate, competition, conflict, we're going to sacrifice the king to get a Napoleon, aka another emperor. Look, just this, it's the same mental model. We're going to sacrifice the king and then get a senate. US story, okay? They got rid of the king in the revolution, and then they replaced it with a president and a senate. Okay? A lot of good stuff came out of that, and then 10 years later, democracy had already started moving around the world. But why not go, we're at a new age, no, not new age, a new era, a new something for humanity where abundance can flow, where energy can be cheap. We've learned a lot of lessons with regard to environmental stewardship. We can actually mine without touching topsoil. Minimal invasion. The big thing is, if you look at medicine, there's surgery, and we used to have to cut open. Now we use cameras and little incisions, and it's less invasive. And we can do likewise with regard to mining, with regard to fracking, with regard to mineral exploration. We don't have to go and rip up a whole field nowadays. We can just put in a pipe and keep it underground. And then when we're finished, we put all that earth back in underground. AKA no mine dumps, none of those slick dams and stuff. We have the technology. But what's going to be required is a change of thinking. Let's go perpendicular. Let's go into a diamond. Let's go cyclical, integrated, systematic cooperation, mutual service. Hold those accountable who need to be held accountable. But instead of overhauling the whole system, let's just tweak it and cut a new road. Lay a new foundation. Put in a foundation stone that the builders have neglected, and that foundation stone is a diamond, and the diamond is you. So yeah, that's on my mind today. Got to transform how we think, and with that we can transform society for a world of abundance, a world of hope, a world of faith, a world of love. Many blessings, and yeah, I'll catch you again. Ciao, ciao.